Somebody, somewhere in the world, right now, is training to kill you. What have you done today to train to kill them first? Hey guys, it's Badger Prepper here on YouTube. I want to take a couple quick moments to talk to you guys real quick today about some things to start up prepping. So right now, I am on a business trip and I'm in a hotel. So it gives me a lot of time to think and get this video going. So in front of me, you guys are going to see some weapons and stuff in my bug out bag. Like I said, my bug out bag is ready for 5 to 7 days, which is what it would be for a walk, because I'm not counting on having a vehicle. A walk back home would take me about 4 days to get home by foot. So something important for you guys to know is where I am out of state, I have a carry permit to be in this state with firearms. And that's something important for all you guys to have in mind. If you're going anywhere or plan on going anywhere, make sure you have the carry permit to get there and do everything legally. You want to be on the level as much as possible. There's really no reason for you not to be. So wherever I go, if I have my vehicle, this is what I bring with me. This comes with me all the time. Doesn't matter where I go or anything like that. I mean, it has to go with you if you're going to be a prepper. So I have my 5 to 7 day bug out bag. I have my rifle and my 2 handguns. Everybody knows the 1911 goes in the bag. The SIG is my EDC, and then the rifle is in the truck. So while I don't have any cool guy tactical gear on while I'm at work or doing any of that stuff, I make sure I bring it with me because, I like being the tactical cool guy, I guess. So I have my M68 field jacket. I know it's not multicam, whoop-de-doo. I do have my multicam top and bottom with me. So if you guys are starting to prep, check out the video on my bug out bag. It's a great video, and or I think it's a great video. There are probably better videos out there, but that will give you a really good understanding of what I have with me. Something that I found out today that I should have put in my bug out bag is a can opener, which that will definitely go inside that bag because I went to go have some dinner tonight and I couldn't get into it. So good can opener. I mean, so if you guys are going to be going out and starting out prepping. Some good magazines, which I bring with me just because I like to read them. These are some good places to start learning the basics for prepping. I'm going to go left to right. So right here, I have Field and Stream. This is a Total Outdoors Manual. It's a pretty good size book. It has literally everything you could ever want to know about being an outdoorsman. And it's a great book. I think it was 27 bucks. And man, that manual has taught me so much. It shows you do nots, everything from camping, camp, fish, hunt, and survive. So I mean, it's a really, really good book for you guys to invest in. Next is going to be a magazine. These are the magazines I get frequently. This is the most up-to-date stuff I have, and this is the Survivalist. It has a lot of really good stuff in it. Not just about Ebola. It has things that you can do, little things to do, as in all of these books, to help you be more prepared, and it helps you get a better sense of preparedness. Guns and ammo. Talks about firearms. I like to be educated on firearms, especially if I'm getting ready to buy a firearm. I always look to Guns and Ammo, as well as online reviews, stuff like that. Personal and Home Defense is a good magazine. It shows a lot about pocket guns, body armor, concealed carry, stuff like that. It's a really good book or magazine. Then Survivor's Edge is all about survival. That's tips, hints, and other ways to get an edge on being a better survivalist or prepper. Old Glory up there. Old Glory goes in my bag no matter where I go. I always have the American flag with me. If you're, in a world of hurt, it's nice to have Old Glory to look at. And if you're bugging out and you need to set up shop somewhere, there's nothing quite as rewarding as having the American flag flying up high when most people would forget to bring that. So I love having the American flag with me. It's a 4x6, it's a big flag. I just love having it with me. It makes me feel complete, I guess. I have a small medical kit with me. This is just inside this little bag. This holds my clothes, the multicam clothes. Nothing real fancy there, but this is a little med kit. I have just a ab pad, a thing of self-sticky, I guess, gauze, ace bandage, some work gloves. The plastic gloves are non-sterile, but it's better than nothing. And then I have some 550 cord. I have 550 cord, I'm sure you guys have seen. In every bag I own, I have at least 100 feet. This is 100 foot of paracord. You can buy these, but I have hundreds and hundreds of feet of it. Thousands of feet of it, probably. And so I just wrap them up myself. Good set of binos. That's in here. Water bottle. That sits in there. My bug out bag, whoopee, snowshoes, shovel, all kinds of good stuff, hatchet, compass, all that good stuff. So, guys, this is something that you guys should really look into. Now I'm going to set the camera down facing this stuff, and I want to talk for a little bit about some things to help you start prepping. And I really hope that you guys think it's informative and you guys can learn something from it. This is not for the advanced prepper or somebody who's been doing this for a long time. This is somebody who's starting out and doesn't have a really good feel on what they should or shouldn't have. So I'm going to set this down right here facing my gear because I'm going to be reading some notes that I've written down, and I don't want to bore anybody here. Alright, so right now the world is at war. Whether the United States admits it or not, there are threats everywhere, and you need to be ready to stop the threats at all costs. The threats right now may be thousands of miles away, or so we think. It's been speculated and thought that members of ISIS, Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, and other organizations have crossed the U.S.-Mexico border or the Canadian border. Not to mention that drug cartels are just as much of a deadly threat as any terrorist organization, and I would consider them a terrorist organization. And they operate on the border in the U.S. and with little fear. And that's because they can, because the federal assets are not there to stop them. And it spills across the border every day, and that is a very serious threat for everybody here to pay attention to. I'm going to point out some of the conflicts, almost all of which are all around the world, almost all of which the United States has our hands in one way or another. First is the most obvious one, and that's Afghanistan. Don't think just because we ended combat missions December 31st, 2014, that the war is over. There's still over 10,000 soldiers in Afghanistan, and they are in just as much danger there as I was in 2010. They are very much in danger, and you guys need to be cognizant of that, because I guarantee the Taliban right now are plotting to make a new offensive to regain the ground lost by U.S. forces. And from my experiences with the Afghan army, they are not going to be able to hold off the Taliban. So when that happens, will America commit forces to stop it? I mean, that's up for discussion and debate. Next is probably the most known, which would be ISIS, which is the Islamic State, or the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. This is a massive terrorist army of 30,000 plus troops. They've taken huge amounts of ground in Iraq and Syria. Also, they've taken the fight to 3 other continents, such as Europe when they attacked France, down in Paris. They've attacked Australia, and there's been ISIS caliphates popping up in Africa. These monsters are hacking people's heads off, and putting it up on social media and using the mainstream media to send their message of hate and the Islamic way, or the Caliphate's way, across the world. They've threatened to attack America. They've threatened to cut Obama's head off, which there'd be no way in hell that would happen because we have the best goddamn people in the world protecting him. While I think he's an ass, he doesn't deserve to die. Anyway, I'm going to digress. As a nation, we sit back and let these monsters do nothing, or do everything they want with little fear from us attacking them. We don't project the American military power, which is up for speculation whether people want to. Do we really want to go back to Iraq? But I'd much rather go there before they come here. ISIS encourages the lone wolf attack, which everybody has heard about, also coordinated attacks. And those are some very deadly, real scenarios. We all saw the Boston bombings. We all saw the incident in Oklahoma where the lady, I believe it was a female, cut her boss's head off, screaming "Allah Akbar." We've seen, the failed bombing in New York with the SUV. These are terrorist attacks. I don't care what anybody says, whether the administration is trying to cover them up or whatever. He is reluctant to say, Islamic terrorists. And I'm going to hit on that real quick. I know thousands, or I shouldn't say I know personally, but I know of thousands of Muslims who are friendly. I've met hundreds of Islamic people who are friendly, who want nothing but the best. Islam is a religion of peace, and these are select few people who are spreading the message of hate. They are taking the Quran. I have read the Quran from front to back multiple times, and they're misconstruing what the Quran is saying. This is my interpretation. I'm not a, holy man by any means, but this is the Islamic Caliphate have misinterpreted the Quran and construed it, and people who are so uneducated to actually read the Quran take the time to read the Quran. The Quran is very similar to the Bible in its preaching. While points are obviously different, everything is about peace. It's not about war. It's not about bloody campaigns. It's about peace. And there are way more good Muslims out there than bad Muslims. So keep that in mind, YouTube. All Muslims aren't bad people. Anyway, I'm going to digress from this. Meanwhile, Russia has been involved in the Ukraine war, several other wars, and it's flexing its muscles all over the world with its Navy and Air Force. They are rebuilding the Soviet Empire. Keep your eye on that. Iran is building nuclear weapons and fielding warships in an attempt to challenge the U.S. Navy in an open ocean. They are threatening war with Israel and America and our allies. They are, if you think that Iran is building a nuclear reactor for peaceful economic reasons, you're an idiot. They are building a nuclear reactor to enrich uranium to make the bomb. It's that simple. North Korea has developed nuclear weapons and wants to push into South Korea. They have launched several attacks into South Korea using artillery and their navy. They have recently shelled an island, which killed, I believe, 2, and they also sunk a South Korean warship. They are working on developing a missile capable of sending a nuke over to the United States or up into our atmosphere. If a nuke is sent up into the atmosphere and detonated 300 miles above the center of the United States, it would cause an EMP, knocking America's grid off and shutting down the country. That's a very real threat. That's something that everybody should take into consideration. China is a rising power who could, and at some point probably will, challenge America. China as well as many other nuclear powers, have said the primary way of attacking the United States will be an EMP attack. The United States probably will not face a ground invasion for the following reasons. The U.S. is huge. It's far too massive for a single enemy to conquer. Most U.S. citizens have a firearm in their home. I believe it is 1 in 4 weapon. 1 in 4 people have a weapon in their home. And those people, homes that do have a weapon, on average, have 4 firearms. The third reason is resupply. Keeping an aggressor force well supplied while on American soil, especially for the initial assault, would be a huge challenge. They would have to traverse whichever ocean they come from, whether the Atlantic or Pacific, and that would make them incredibly vulnerable to the U.S. Navy, who is the best Navy in the world. There's no Navy that can challenge us yet. They'd be easily detected and easily taken care of by either by Navy or intelligence agencies or the Air Force. Things are changing. While no Air Force or Navy can challenge the U.S. as of right now, things are definitely changing, and that's something to watch out for. China and Russia are building stealth aircraft, so keep an eye on that, guys. And as for an air incursion, after 9/11, air traffic has been so tightly monitored that the possibility of having large swaths of enemy aircraft delivering troops, like in Red Dawn, the second one, or having commercial airliners loaded with troops, is so incredibly unrealistic now because of tight aircraft security and what the DHS has done along with the TSA to help prevent that. So for all you Red Dawn fans, sorry. That's probably not a reality. However, with the rise of China, Iran, North Korea, and the once again Russian-Soviet military, it may be possible within the next 10 years. So keep an eye on that, guys. So what's the threat like? Or what's the threat then? Like I said, lone wolf-style attacks, workplace violence, growing separation of racial and religious communities. A second civil war or an American Revolution. Is it possible? Absolutely. The first issue is the threat influence from the outside. That would be the lone wolf attacks, the radicalized extremists from different religious groups, such as Islam, or different nations such as China, Russia. These guys can train people who can do a lot of damage with little amount of people, as we all saw from the nut job who shot up the Colorado theater, the LAX shooting, Boston Marathon. All these were done with little people and had a huge impact on the nation, or Paris, France, which we all saw, those monsters do in January. That was absolutely horrible. And those nut jobs who think it's okay for them to pick up a gun and walk into a school or their work and shoot the place up because they were bullied or some other bullshit reason. Okay, like those are things that you need to worry about. I do want to touch on the growing separation of race and religion in our country. We already had this issue, and I thought it was pretty well taken care of back in the 60s and 70s. If you are black, if you are white, if you are Hispanic, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't care what your color your skin is, what your religion is. You're an American. If I walked up to a police officer and I punched him repetitively in the face and tried grabbing his gun and he killed me, guess what? There wouldn't be very much sympathy for me. So, yeah, there's no good excuse for riots because of, interracial shooting between law enforcement. That is absolutely absurd. Some of you may not like that, but